Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on the channel, Mr. Loons, and today I'm doing Game Week 37 predictions of the Barclays Premier League, and I'm going to be starting off on the 20th of May. It's going to be Tottenham Hotspur at home facing Brentford. I think it's going to be a really tough one to predict. Both teams fighting for European football, but I'm going for home advantage 2-1 to Tottenham Hotspur. Brentford got a really comfortable and easy win against West Ham at the home ground last time out. 2-0, and Spurs lost to Aston Villa 2-1, but Aston Villa playing really well. Overall, Spurs are on definitely worse form than Brentford, but Spurs with Harry Kane, who scored as much goals as he has, and with Son, which in the recent matches haven't played that bad, I feel like Spurs are going to edge this one 2-1. I think it can go either way. I don't know what the scoreline is going to be at all. This one I'm very unsure in, but I'm just going 2-1 to Spurs with home advantage. Moving on to the next game, it's going to be Liverpool against Aston Villa at Anfield. 1-0 to Liverpool. Liverpool on sensational form. 7 of their last games, they've won them all, and I think they've been undefeated in 9 games. Aston Villa got a 2-1 win against Tottenham Hotspur, which is a very good win for them. But Liverpool at Anfield, the way we've been playing, they just won 3-0 against Leicester at the King Power Stadium, and they are fighting for Champions League football. It's been a great comeback, they're on great form, and I can't see them losing it, especially at Anfield. Moving on to the next game, it is Wolverhampton Wanderers facing Everton 1-1. Now, Wolves, their home record's been absolutely fantastic recently. Their last home game, they won at 1-0 against Aston Villa, and that's a fantastic win. But Wolves, they're not fighting for much. I am going for a draw here because Wolves is really good home form, and I don't see Everton losing because they're in a relegation battle. Especially that they managed to win 5-1 against Brighton and Hove Albion. But last game, Everton, they did lose 3-0 to Manchester City. Facing away against Wolves, it could either be a draw or win to Everton. I'm going for a draw because of Wolves' home form. Moving on to the next game, it's Bournemouth at the Vitality Stadium facing Manchester United. 2-0 to Manchester United. Manchester United, absolutely fantastic. Bournemouth, they got nothing to fight for whatsoever. Manchester United, they're fighting to keep their Champions League spot. I think it's going to be a walk in the park, comfortable 2-0 result to Manchester United. Moving on to the next game, it's Fulham FC at Craven Cottage facing Crystal Palace, and I'm going 3-2 to Fulham. Now, Fulham FC, they've been playing fantastic throughout this whole year. The last 2 games getting a 5-3 win against Leicester City and getting a 2-0 win to make Southampton go down to the Championship. And in that 2-0 win, Mitrovic came in and scored straight away, and that's fantastic. Mitrovic returning from suspension, gonna give Fulham even extra quality after their attack was already good, with the likes of Willian getting 2 goals against Leicester, Pauhina playing absolutely fantastic, Marco Silva as the manager doing everything right for Fulham to put them in 10th place, especially at Craven Cottage with Mitrovic coming back in, and the fact that Crystal Palace has been in so many high-scoring games. Like recently, they're in a 4-3 game where they managed to win it against West Ham United. And Crystal Palace have some great attacking threats, such as Wilfried Zaha, Eze, Elise. But Wilfried Zaha picked up a hamstring injury in the win against Bournemouth 2-0. So Crystal Palace also missing Wilfried Zaha is going to be a big hit in this game. I think the home advantage and the fact that Mitrovic adds that extra quality and Wilfried Zaha being injured is going to make it slightly easier for Fulham to get this win. To confirm Fulham a 3-2 victory. Moving on to the next game, it's Nottingham Forest at the home ground facing Arsenal. 2-1 to Arsenal. I think this could be a draw or even a win to Nottingham Forest because their home record's been fantastic, Nottingham Forest. They went away to Stamford Bridge and drew 2-2, and I think they're still in the relegation scrap. They're facing a really hard side here. Arsenal, I think pretty much are not going to win the Premier League title. Man City are 4 points clear. Arsenal are fun with it completely. But Nottingham Forest at home against Arsenal, Arsenal aren't going to make it easy for Nottingham Forest. I think it definitely could be very close, and there could be a point for Nottingham Forest in this. But I'm going for the better side, Arsenal, because all season Arsenal obviously been better, and I'm going for Arsenal. Moving on to the next game, it's actually a whole new day as well. 21st of May, West Ham United at home against Leeds United. 2-1 to Leeds. And Leeds United, Sam Allardyce has completely changed the side. If you look, before they played Man City, before Sam Allardyce came in, they had no fight. They were losing it. It looked like Leeds were definitely down. But then, they only just about lost against City, and they had much more fight. And then, against Newcastle, which it could have been 3-2, if Bamford managed to finish that penalty. But Patrick Bamford also didn't do too bad because he created the first goal in that Newcastle United game with the whip into the box, which eventually led to the goal. And overall, he does well off the ball. It's just at the moment he can't finish his beans. They drew 2-2, and they showed fight, even more fight they did against City. They're showing more fight and more fight, and they're proving under Sam Allardyce. And I think eventually a win's going to come. And overall, I think West Ham are pretty much secured that they're staying up. Also, West Ham United are going to probably be focusing on the Conference League final, which isn't to June, but they might want to take it easy so they don't get any injuries. There's still a chance they could go down, but I don't see them going down. Definitely going to be a hard game. There could definitely be a draw, but Leeds, they're definitely showing more fight, and that's what's going to get him this win away against West Ham. Moving on to the next game, it's Brighton and Hove Albion against Southampton. This is easy to predict, 3-0 to Brighton. I don't see Southampton doing anything against Brighton. Brighton did lose 4-1 against Newcastle and had some strange results like a 3-1 loss to the Forests and a 5-1 loss to Everton, but they still won against Arsenal 3-0. It's kind of crazy. They're very inconsistent on their results. But against a championship club, Southampton, we just confirmed after Southampton lost 2-0 against Fulham. It should be a walk in the park for Brighton. Moving on to the next game, it's Manchester City versus Chelsea. 2-0 to Manchester City. They're at the Etihad. Man City are now through to the final of the Champions League. They're in the final of the FA Cup. They're first by 4 points. They're facing Chelsea, who in the last 2 games have scored 5 goals, surprisingly, and has managed to get 4 points, a win against Bournemouth and a draw against Nottingham Forest. But overall, they've been terrible season, Chelsea. Man City at home, battering Real Madrid like that. They can definitely get an easy win against Chelsea, 2-0. Moving on to the next game, it's the 22nd of May. It's Newcastle United at St James's Park, facing Leicester City. 3-1 to Newcastle United. After Newcastle United, great performance against Brighton 4-1. Their great first half. You know, it could have been more in the first half. It was a great display by Newcastle. But Joe Willock is injured, and so is Sean Longstaff. But I think even without those players, Newcastle can definitely get a win, especially at St James's Park. The atmosphere is going to be amazing. Facing Leicester City, which completely lost 3-0 against Fulham, and they had no fight. That's the bad thing. They had no fight there. And going away against Newcastle, having a great season like this at St James's Park, it's going to be hard for Leicester to get anything, so 3-1 comfortable to Newcastle. Before I do wrap up today's video, last week I did terrible, getting 3 points out of 20 points, and I did predict the Newcastle United-Brighton game. I predicted 1-1, it was actually 4-1. I get nothing there. I'm doing terrible throughout this whole year. Hopefully I can have a better season next season, and hopefully I can have a better week this week. But I got 3 points out of 22 points last week, and overall 199 points out of 716 points. Hopefully you can like and subscribe, and always remember to turn on notifications to never miss one of my fantastic YouTube videos. I'll see you next time. To the pip now.